Welcome back, Legends. Sonic 35th Anniversary. Spotlight is here. After a full year, the Sonic Spotlight is finally back in Asphalt Legends, and this time it's celebrating the 35th anniversary of Sonic the Hedgehog. The event officially launched today, and I know a lot of you have been waiting for this one for a very long time. For many players, this isn't just another Spotlight event. A lot of you are huge Sonic fans, and seeing Sonic return to Asphalt Legends is already enough to get excited. The themed visuals, the music, the atmosphere, and the whole Sonic vibe make this event feel different from the usual Spotlight releases. But at the same time, this event has a very interesting history. If you guys remember the original Sonic Spotlight event from last year, it created a massive backlash inside the Asphalt Legends community. Not because players hated Sonic, but because it was the very first Spotlight event where Gameloft introduced a dedicated event pass. Before Sonic arrived, Spotlight events were much more generous. Players were getting better rewards, more progression, and overall better value. Then the Sonic event arrived, the dedicated pass appeared, rewards got reduced, and many players felt that Spotlight events had been permanently nerfed. Back then, the community reaction was rough. But here's the funny part. After that event, Gameloft continued adjusting Spotlight events little by little over the following year. Rewards became smaller, progression became tougher, and eventually players got used to the newer format. So when players look back at the original Sonic Spotlight today, many actually consider it one of the better Spotlight events compared to what we usually get now. That's how much the Spotlight system has changed over the last year. So today, I'm not going to spend time comparing everything to the old event. Instead, we're going to fully break down the current Sonic 35th Anniversary Spotlight event and see whether it's worth your time, your grind, and your resources. Before I continue, if you're excited for Sonic's return to Asphalt Legends, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and let me know in the comments if you played the original Sonic Spotlight event last year, or if this is your first time experiencing it. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Sonic theme and event duration. First things first, let's talk about the presentation. If you're a Sonic fan, you're probably going to love this event immediately. The banner looks fantastic. The overall theme feels unique compared to regular Spotlight events. Gameloft definitely put effort into making the event feel like a Sonic celebration rather than just another recycled event page. Now for the duration. The Sonic 35th Anniversary Spotlight officially started on June 18th and will run all the way until July 21st. That's a total of 33 days. That's a huge amount of time. This is not a short event where you need to rush everything in a week. You have more than a month to work through the stages, collect rewards, earn Spotlight tokens, and slowly improve your progress. The dedicated event pass. As expected, the Sonic 35th Anniversary Spotlight comes with its own dedicated event pass. The pass costs around $20 depending on your region. Now, if you're planning to push serious progress, collect more rewards, or upgrade the featured cars faster, then the pass can definitely help. But let's talk about the free side because that's what most players care about. The free pass contains some familiar rewards. You can get a free DSE Tense decal, 2 Sonic-themed emojis, 5 blueprints for every support car. And interestingly, these rewards are basically identical to what we got 1 year ago. So if you missed the original Sonic event, this is actually a nice opportunity to grab some of those exclusive rewards. However, I did notice one small but important change. Last year, one of the support car blueprint rewards was for the Lamborghini Revuelto. This time, Gameloft replaced it with the W Motors Lycan Hypersport Neon Edition. So right away, we can see that the support car lineup has received some adjustments compared to the previous version. Support car lineup. Now let's talk about the most important part of any Spotlight event, the support cars. Because in Spotlight events, support cars often determine how much progress you're able to make later in the event. Here is the lineup. SSC Ultimate Aero TT featured car, Porsche 911 GT2 RS Club Sport, Apex AP0, Nissan GT-R Neon Edition, Donkerfort D8 GTO Individual Series, W Motors Lycan Hypersport Neon Edition, DS Automobiles DSE Tense. Overall, this is a pretty interesting lineup. Some of these cars are useful for progression, some have decent value for collectors, and some can be important long-term investments depending on your garage status. For players who enjoy collecting cosmetics, there is some good news. This Spotlight event includes 2 brand new decals alongside returning older decals. Based on what we're seeing so far, these will most likely become available through the Spotlight shop. So if you're someone who enjoys collecting unique visual items, make sure you keep an eye on the shop throughout the event. Spotlight Shop Breakdown. Now let's move on to one of the most important sections, the Spotlight Shop. At the moment, there are no special bundles available, but don't worry. Those usually appear later, so I fully expect additional offers to arrive soon. For now, the market itself actually looks pretty promising. There are plenty of blueprints available for multiple cars, and the prices look fairly reasonable compared to some recent Spotlight events. The nice thing is that your spending strategy can be completely different depending on your garage. Some players will focus on unlocking cars, others will focus on starring up existing cars. Personally, if I had to prioritize, I would focus on the S-Class options available here, especially the W Motors Lykan Hypersport Neon Edition. The blueprint pricing for that car looks surprisingly reasonable. The Nissan GT-R Neon Edition is another S-Class option that many players may want to consider. Now let's talk about the featured car, the SSC Ultimate Aero TT. Yes, it's the headline car of the event, but performance-wise, it isn't exactly one of the strongest S-Class cars in today's Asphalt Legends meta. So if you've already unlocked the SSC Ultimate Aero TT, I honestly wouldn't rush to invest heavily into it right now. There are simply better S-Class investments available inside the Spotlight. However, if you still haven't unlocked it, then getting the unlock should absolutely be one of your priorities. Now I know what some of you are thinking. The W Motors Lykan Hypersport Neon Edition is a key car. Without the key, blueprints don't help much. And that's true. But there is actually a solution. You can obtain the key completely free through the Gauntlet market using Gauntlet coins. Of course, there is one requirement. You need to reach Gauntlet Division 5. So if you've been ignoring Gauntlet mode, this might be a good reason to start taking it seriously. And if you're wondering about the best Gauntlet strategies or how to climb to Division 5 efficiently, check out my Gauntlet videos. You'll find them in my channel playlists. Event structure and stages. Now let's move into the actual event structure. This is where you'll spend most of your time earning rewards and collecting Spotlight tokens. The Sonic 35th Anniversary Spotlight contains a total of 21 stages. At first glance, that sounds massive. But when you remember that the event lasts 33 days, the stage count actually feels pretty reasonable. As I was looking through the stages, one thing immediately stood out. The SSC Ultimate Aero TT sections provide a surprisingly good amount of support car blueprints. You'll also receive some blueprints for the featured car itself. These rewards should help players build progression naturally during the early and mid portions of the event. However, once you move beyond stage 14, things start changing. Progress becomes much more dependent on your garage. Specifically, how many stars your support cars have and how developed those cars already are. That's where veteran players will have an easier time pushing deeper into the event compared to newer players. So while the first half feels accessible, the later stages become more of a garage value check. Still, compared to several recent Spotlight events, the reward structure doesn't look bad at all. Could it be better? Of course. But compared to the current Spotlight standards we've become used to, this event is actually offering decent value. Final thoughts. Looking at everything together, I think the Sonic 35th Anniversary Spotlight is a solid event overall. The Sonic theme presentation looks fantastic. The banner and UI are some of the best parts of the event. The 33-day duration gives players plenty of time to grind. And the support car lineup includes several cars that can provide real long-term value. The dedicated pass is still here just like last year, but the free side still offers useful rewards including the DSE Tense decal, Sonic emojis, and support car blueprints. The Spotlight shop also looks much better than I expected, with reasonable blueprint pricing and multiple options for players depending on their garage goals. The SSC Ultimate Aero TT may not be the strongest S-Class investment available, but it's still worth unlocking if you don't own it yet. Meanwhile, cars like the W Motors Lykan Hypersport Neon Edition and Nissan GT-R Neon Edition may actually be smarter places to spend your Spotlight tokens. The event structure itself feels fair for the amount of time provided, and while Stage 14 and beyond will definitely test your garage strength, the overall rewards are still respectable compared to many recent Spotlight events. Most importantly, this event brings back one of the most memorable collaborations Asphalt Legends has ever had. And even after a full year, it still feels special seeing Sonic return to the game. That's everything I wanted to cover about the Sonic 35th Anniversary Spotlight event. Let me know how far you've progressed so far, what rewards you're targeting, and whether you're planning to go all the way through the event. Don't forget to subscribe, Legends. See you on the track.